Well, hello there, and welcome back to Mr. E's Mysteries and Magics, brought to you as always by RP Magic Shop in Ludlow, Massachusetts, where illusion becomes reality. Check out their website below for all kinds of great stuff, and please sign up for their free newsletter. All right, so this video is going to be just a little bit different from what I've done before. Other people have done similar sorts of things, but I thought it would be fun to do them here on my channel. We're going to talk a little bit about a giveaway, but first I want to talk about the main topic of this video, because the topic has to do with the giveaway, which we will discuss a little bit later on. So if you want to know about the giveaway, you're going to have to stick around, because the video will explain what you have to do for the giveaway. I want to know what your first experience was doing any kind of magic in public. The first time you did a magic trick in public. Does not have to be cards, can be any kind of magic that you did in public. Now, let me define in public. I don't mean doing tricks that are practicing in front of your parents so that they can give you feedback on how you're doing and what you're doing and so on and so forth, and what they saw you do, how you flashed or whatever. Not that kind of thing. Let me define it this way. Your first public performance, public being that if you messed up, you would have been embarrassed. Okay? You're out there, you're saying, look at me, I'm a magician, watch me do this, and if it messed up, you would have had to put your tail between your legs a little bit. That's a public performance, not your practice performances, okay? Even though you might have done them for other people. Now, having said that, your first public performance may very well have been in front of your family. It may have been in front of friends at a party or something like that. Doesn't really matter. Mine was kind of unique, and I'm going to talk about that again in just a couple of minutes. I'd like to know the circumstances around your first performance. Who was your audience? Did you get rewarded for it? Were you paid? Did somebody buy you a beer maybe if you did it in a bar? I was rewarded a couple of weird, well, not weird, but different ways. They weren't weird, but they were different. And again, I will explain all that in just a minute. So anyway, that's what I want you to talk about. Leave the story of your first experience in public as a thaumaturgist in the comment section below of this video. And when I'm done talking about my own personal experience, we'll talk about the giveaway. Now, the first time I did magic, I'm not going to tell you how long ago it was, but I will tell you that it was, well, not only in the days before YouTube, but it was in the days before the interwebs. I did go to a Catholic high school, and my first semester of my sophomore year, I was taking French 1. Now, in my high school, the young ladies had a very specific uniform to wear. They had a specific skirt, specific knee socks, blouse, sweater, that kind of thing. The guys had a little bit more leeway. They had to wear a tie jacket, dress shirt, dress pants, dress shoes, of course, but there was no school jacket or school tie. They could wear any tie or jacket or shirt that they wanted, as long as basically they were dressed like a businessman, is what it amounted to. You didn't have to wear a suit, but you did have to wear a sport jacket of some kind with your tie and dress shirt. So that they had a lot more leeway in that sense. So as you can imagine, your first semester in high school of a language, you know absolutely nothing. And the teacher has very, very little to grade you on. We had a very smart and experienced teacher, and she had us all do something in English in order to have a grade to give us for that semester, something else to grade us on besides, learning one or two sentences. And what she would have us do is she had everybody in her French 1 classes do a public presentation. Now, naturally, the presentation had to be in English, because if it had to be in French, we would have gotten as far as bonjour and then stood there with nothing else to say, because we didn't know how to say anything else in French. So obviously the presentation had to be in English. Now, the reason I explained about the uniform is, well, I guess there were probably 20, 24, 22 kids in the class, something like that. Half of them were guys. And, when you're like in your, high school, you're 15, maybe just turned 15, that is the prime creative time of your life. So I would say, of the almost 2 dozen or so kids in the class, I'd say probably 8 of the guys did how to tie a tie. Ugh, ugh. After the 7th one, it got to be a little boring. Well, I knew right from the beginning I was not going to do that. I was going to do something different, and for a while, it had these 2 decks of cards. This is the DeLand's Automatic deck and the Fox Lake deck. Back in the day, these were the 2 Magic decks to have. People didn't know about them, okay? But these were the cards to have if you kind of looked into what Magic was all about back then. All right, so I, of course, did a small routine using these decks of cards. And I didn't do anything really fancy. I just did a straightforward presentation. And nothing big deal. I mean, I did a little shuffle, talked to my classmates. Hey, I need an assistant. Have we ever met before? Oh, yeah, of course we have. Oh, I'm in your class. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember you. This kind of silly nonsense. And I just had them pick a card and, show it around the room and so on and so forth, and then put it back in the deck, and then do a few more shuffles and have it magically appear out of the deck, and there's 7, and tell them without looking at the front of the card that they picked the 7 of hearts. Okay, so that was one thing I did, and then I switched the decks, and I pulled out the Fox Lake deck, and I'll tell you a little something. This Fox Lake deck is kind of unique. As you can see, it's basically a bridge deck. You can see how much thinner that is. It's not as wide. Let me flip it over. Maybe you can get a better look at that. See how that's very much narrower than the Lands deck, which is more of the poker size. This is really a bridge size deck, but it is a Svengali deck. See that? Every other card is the Ace of Spades. Now, I will say this, okay? I will point this out. These are not the actual decks I used for that presentation. Those decks are long since lost and gone. However, these are the exact same reproductions. I mean, I rebought these cards years later. It's probably the 3rd copy of each of these decks that I've had. And the Lands decks are pretty much all the same. The Fox Lake cards, yes, I did have the version with the Ace of Spades. I don't know if there are any other versions of Fox Lake. Every time I've bought one, it's always been the Ace of Spades. So these are not the exact decks. They're replacement decks, which are exactly the same. So, and then I had them do the old thing with the Fox Lake. Stop it anywhere you want. Show the card. Put it back. Shuffle it up. Give me a number. Well, 3 is the number. Okay, and your card is the, yes, sir, Ace of Spades. How about that? Ooh! So I had the audience, kids in my class, the audience, pretty much eating out of my hand. So what was my reward for doing that? Well, actually, there were kind of 2. When the class ended and there was a little bit of extra time, I had maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 kids hanging around my desk going, hey, Mr. Wizard, how did you do that? That was really cool. Hey, Mr. Wizard, tell us your secrets. And, of course, I wouldn't tell them and wouldn't give away what I was doing. So I would say it was a good, I don't know, maybe 45 to 60 seconds that I was actually popular in high school. That was really great. After that, nobody talked to me again for the next 2.5 years. But that's a story I would really, rather save for my therapist and not really appropriate for this channel. But anyway, the real reward came about a week later when the French teacher pulled me aside and she said to me, of all the kids who did presentations this year in my French 1 class, you are the only one that I gave an A+ to, because first of all, you were unique. You obviously worked on it. You practiced those tricks that you did, and you did them very well. I do have to admit they came off great. I didn't mess them up. And she said, not only that, but when I say unique, I'm not kidding, because this is the first time in all the years I've doing this that anybody ever did card tricks for their presentation. And quite honestly, looking back on it, I was more impressed with myself for that, for being unique, for being original, than I was with the A plus. My parents were impressed with the A plus, but I was more impressed with the fact that, hey, I was something different. I was new. I did something no one else did before. That's really great. So that is my story of the first time that I actually did magic in public. I want to hear your story. And again, I'm going to reiterate, doesn't matter if it was card tricks, any kind of magic will do. I want to know the audience, the circumstances, was there a reward involved? Doesn't matter if there was or not, I just want to know. I'm just curious. I think we can have some fun with this. And now we'll talk about the giveaway. Everybody who is a subscriber and who posts their story will be entered into a giveaway for a deck of cards. I'm not going to tell you what that deck of cards is because, well, I just don't want to. I'm going to keep that a secret for now, but I will say that it is one of my, if not my favorite all-time deck of cards, and that's what I'm going to be giving away. So, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, you have to be a subscriber, as I said. Now, I know a bunch of you are subscribers and you constantly comment and you watch my videos and you have some nice things to say. I also picked up a guy the other day as a subscriber, and he told me, he wrote to me and said, I'm a new subscriber, and so on and so forth. I know who you guys are. I'm not worried about you. If you guys are concerned about whether or not I have you in the list as a subscriber, just ask me and I'll verify it with you. Not a problem. I am going to ask you to post your comments only on this particular video, in the comment section of this video. The reason for that is I don't want to be going all over my website, my channel I should say, looking for the stories. I want them all in one place where I can get to them quickly and easily and verify that, verify the story. If you post it to a different video, I probably will not see it anyway, particularly if it's an older video, and just by default you won't be entered into the contest. So post it to this video in the comment section below and that will be just fine. If I don't know you and you're not a regular commenter, please open up your subscriptions to public until I can verify that you are a subscriber to my channel. Once I've verified it, I will let you know and you can go back to being private. Okay, so that's another kind of restriction and requirement. I'm going to put a deadline on the entries, and that deadline will be noon Eastern Daylight Time in the United States on Friday, September 12th, 2020. The reason that I'm putting that deadline in there, it's going to give me time to look over any last minute entries, and I'm going to be filming the video that night that will publicize the winner of the giveaway. That video will be posted in public on YouTube on Tuesday, September 15th, 2020, 3 days later, okay? So I'm going to record it in the evening of the 12th, so deadline is noon of that Friday afternoon, and 3 days later on early Tuesday morning on the 15th, that's when you'll find out who wins. I will say this as well. The drawing will be at random. It's not going to be a case of, okay, I like your story best, so you win. No, I'm not going to do anything that subjective. Doesn't matter what your story is, doesn't matter how you did it, what problems you may have had, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, doesn't really make a lick of difference. Just want to share the stories. Everybody who enters will be given one chance to be drawn at random. I'm not going to choose the best story. That's not the point of this contest, all right? Got all that? I certainly hope so. All right, so that's everything I think that you need to know about what we're going to do with the giveaway. Again, one other point is that I do know that a number of you probably don't do or never have done magic in person. And I feel bad because by definition you're not going to be able to participate in this giveaway. But let me do this. I'm right around 60 subscribers right now. I think 59 as I record this. What I would really like to do is have another double giveaway when I reach 100, another 41 subscribers. I'd like to do that very soon. And of course, anybody who subscribes will be eligible for that one. And so I'd like to really get everybody involved with that one because I don't want to leave people out because they have never done magic in public before. So I'm going to ask those of you who have YouTube channels, who are regulars, please help me publicize getting to 100 subscribers so I can give away another, and I'll give away 2 decks of cards if we hit 100, okay? So please help me out. Maybe give me a couple of promotions, more than just once. Do one, wait a couple weeks, and do it again. This is open-ended. I'd like it to be very quick, but if it takes a few weeks and it's in your in your mind and you want to give me another little promotion, I would greatly appreciate it. So let's get together. Let's do that. Let's get this channel up to 100 subscribers. I will promote this also on a number of Facebook magic groups that I belong to. See if we can't get a few people over here from there and hit that 100 number and do another double giveaway, okay? But in the meantime, again, I'm not going to tell you what cards those are. I have it in my mind, but and I'm not going to tell you the cards that the deck I'm going to give away for this particular video for one simple reason. I just want to leave you baffled.